G'day YouTubers and pewter nerds, Luke here and welcome to my Alien Covenant movie review. Now, before you watch too much further, fair warning right out the gate, spoiler alert. Now that it's said and over and done with, I'm only going to say it once. If you decide to keep watching, you will probably thank me having saved you your time and money in not going to see this movie because it was really bad. Like, we are talking that bad and that much of a disappointment. I almost walked out in the first 20 minutes. And let me tell you right now, there are 3 movies in my history of going to see movies that I've ever walked out on at the cinema. Saw 6, The Accountant, and Fate of the Furious. Only 3 movies that I've ever walked out on because they were that bad. Alien Covenant was almost that bad. It was that bad. The only reason why I wanted to stay and actually sat through it was because I wanted to find out what happened to Elizabeth Shaw from Prometheus, which I did. You do. She dies a horrible death. David, the droid from Prometheus, tricks her into putting him back together because he's had his head separated from his body, but he's a droid, so he can still function. She puts him back together. He uses her as an experiment. She dies a horrible death. You find that out probably, I'd say maybe 50 to 60% of the way into the movie. Anyways, let's talk about Alien Covenant and what it's about. So, it's a spaceship that's filled with a colony of humans traveling to a far, far away planet from Earth to set up a new civilization. Now, they are in this thing called hypersleep, which means that they can sleep for many years without aging and allow them to travel to, it's all space stuff. So along their travels, they get pulled out of, they get pulled out of their travels to their destination by a space anomaly, and their ship almost dies. Some of the crew is woken up, like we're talking a skeleton crew, engineers, scientists, pilot, and a couple of others. Like I think there's 12 people that all pretty much die a horrible death, apart from 2 of them. But not now. They die like throughout the movie, which I'll go into. We're talking within the first 20 minutes. The crew is woken up. Their ship's all damaged, they need to repair it. They miraculously repair it without a hitch. But like before they're about to, settle back down and travel on get on their ways and be put back to hypersleep, I think it's the captain, Danny McBride, he receives a rogue transmission through his helmet from a planet that appears to be closer than the one they were originally traveling to. And the planet, by their scans, appears to be habitable by humans, which is they make an executive decision to go and check it out. So that's within 20 minutes. That's where I almost walked out, because you can tell from right there what's going to happen. They're going to go to the planet. It's going to be a complete disaster. They're all going to die except for 2 of them, which are the main characters, Danny McBride and Catherine Waterston. Like, really? You know what? Let's talk executive decision for a minute. Like, you paid an A-grade actor, James Franco, who I've got I love his work. I loved This Is the End. I loved Good People with Kate Hudson. They both absolutely killed it in that movie. I love Pineapple Express. He was an excellent villain in Spider-Man. This is not, you paid James Franco, an A-grade actor, the amount of money to play a cameo that would have rivaled Steven Seagal's cameo in Executive Decision with Kurt Russell. Whatever you probably would have paid an A-grade actor, when you could have paid me $1,500, it would have fulfilled my dream of appearing in a Hollywood blockbuster. I would have paid off the rest of my credit card and had $700 spending money. You would have saved a bunch of money. We would have all been happy. Really. Oh my God. The movie was that bad. Honestly, it was that bad. If there's one thing that Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and Prometheus, if there's one thing that they all had in common, it was that they were intense, they were harrowing, they kept you on the edge of your seat and wanting to know more, they were thrilling. The trailer of Alien Covenant was all that, but when I went to see it at the movies, it's like, I don't have a ball here, but imagine I'm holding a ball and it drop from a really great height and the ball splatters on the ground. Like, it was that bad. It was that disappointing. It was predictable. It was you know, like when they landed on the planet and they start setting up and trying to get their shit sorted and do whatever they do when you land on a far off planet, they didn't even have a proper security force. Like the scientists, the engineers, and the whoever else, the explorers, they were their own security force. Like, why would they not have a specialized security force to... I mean, the gunfights in the movie were terrible. You know, there was one scene there where they were in a gunfight and there was this crossfire incident and one of the dudes cops around in the head. He dies. You know, that was probably the best bit of the movie. I lolled. It was that bad. They got massacred by aliens. And like, you know, we're not talking like 20 aliens onto a crew. Like, we're not talking 20 and 30, a horde of aliens. We're talking maybe like 3 or 4, you know, developing aliens. Like, if you want to compare Aliens with Sigourney Weaver to this, like that expedition of Marines and how fucking, excuse my language, how badass they were and how awesome that movie was, this was nothing. Like, you'd think it would have progressed and gotten better over, you know, almost 20 years, but hello, it really wasn't. It was really bad. Like the it was really bad. I mean, special effects, like, really? I mean, CGI, fucking bullshit, really? Who cares? Wow. Paid millions of dollars for all that rubbish. Like, it was really bad. So, the ending... Actually, you know what? Let's talk about the chicks for a minute, okay? And the guys weren't much better. Don't get me wrong, the guys weren't much better. They, like, the whole time, pretty much almost everyone just ran around screaming and crying and in distress, and like it was, you know, I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, yep, you're going to get owned, yep, you're going to die, and you're probably going to be next. And exactly, sure enough, it was exactly how it happened. Oh my god, you know, just really bad, really bad, predictable, disappointing. Let's talk about the ending. So the ending, it's pretty much Danny McBride and Catherine Waterston are the last 2 human survivors. Everyone else is dead by this point, and they're trying to escape with David, who kills Walter, the good droid. And you don't actually see that, because what happens is David replaces Walter as, like, we're talking replaces as in infiltrates and impersonates Walter, which I'm gonna, like, honestly, you want to watch this till the end from here. Okay, so David replaces Walter, but Catherine Waterston and Danny McBride have to kill off the last alien, the Queen Mother, and I think another. No, I think it's just the Queen Mother at this point. So Walter guides Danny McBride and Catherine Waterston to where... Actually, you know what? No, I've stuffed that up. There's one rogue alien on board the ship, okay? And Danny McBride and Catherine Waterston managed to kill that. Then the Queen Mother, the Queen whatever, ginormous thing, just, you know... She comes out, and, you know, I don't even know if I have this in the right order. It doesn't even matter because it's that bad. You know, and Catherine Waterston goes outside the ship as they're trying to take off, and she attaches herself, and she's got a gun, and she's shooting at the alien, and she's, you know, Danny McBride's trying to activate, and this claw that's attached to the ship, kind of like how Sigourney Weaver, you know... oh, you know what? I digress for a minute. Like, let's look at that last scene with the Queen and Sigourney Weaver and Newt in Aliens. Like, how fucking badass was that scene? Like, you know, Sigourney Weaver jumps in the yellow bot mech thingy and, like, get away from her, you bitch, with just like this meanness, not an ounce of fear or tears rolling down her eyes, and is just like, you know, brawling with this Queen Mother alien. Like, Catherine Waterston was like in tears the whole time with a friggin' M4 with an M4 rifle trying to fight this queen mother alien that spits acid and has ginormous claws and a large whipping tail attached to a ship and flinging around and, just complete and utter far-fetched bullshit. They end up killing the queen alien by capturing it in the claw and then squishing it, and it dies, and they come back into the ship, and as Danny McBride and Catherine Waterston are about to be put back to as they're about to be put back to hypersleep, Danny McBride is the first one, and then David again, who has infiltrated, and this is where it's good. This is probably the only good bit of the film. Catherine Waterston says to David, who she thinks is Walter, "Are you going to help me build my cabin? Or will you help me build my cabin?" Okay, because her and her partner, James Franco, who dies within 5 minutes, probably even 2 minutes of the movie, they wanted to build a cabin on this new planet by the lake, and she tells Walter the story, but she thinks David is Walter, who is not. So, David's looking in at her, and, she asks him, "Will you help me build my cabin?" And he just looks at her with a blank look on her face, like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "My cabin by the water, will you help me build it?" And he's like, "Bitch, I got no idea what you're fucking talking about." And right there she realises that it's Walter, and she's probably going to become an experiment of his. And she's like, "Oh, you're not Walter, you're David." And then she's put back to sleep. Walter walks off into to where the colonists, the 2,500 colonists, and he regurgitates these embryos of the facehuggers and puts them in this incubating contraption, and the end. That is literally it. It is. I've told you this movie from start to finish in 12 minutes, and I had to sit there through that for 2 hours, for 2.5 hours. That's 2.5 hours of my life I'm never going to get back, and I've saved you guys an hour and a half of your life. So I hope you enjoyed this review. The movie was really bad. I wouldn't recommend going to see it. With saying that, I'm going to be doing more movie reviews on my channel, because if you watch my Alien Covenant trailer reaction, which I recommend you go and watch the first 2 minutes of it, you'll see how much I love movies. I'm going to see John Wick, probably it's 10:30 now on Tuesday morning, Tight Ass Tuesdays. Movies are cheaper here in Australia on Tuesdays. I am going in approximately 5 hours to see John Wick 2. I'm going to have a full movie review of that. Like, comment, subscribe. If not, you've watched the video anyway, which helps my channel. So that's it, guys. Review over. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope John Wick 2 review is much more pleasing and than this. So till the next one. Later, guys and girls, and whatever else. It's 2017. I don't judge.